today we actually, here to talk about something totally different from what they've seen, which is called the myotherapy. Okay, Mr. Dennis, like you've been in the industry as well for some time, and you know about all these trigger points. Okay,
Yep.
and
relief of muscle pain.
okay,
And there's many forms of it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Tell me more about it. How does it work, and what is therapy trigger point?
Okay. Just before getting into myotherapy, there's, as you know, there's chiropractic.
Okay.
There's shiatsu.
Mm-hmm.
There's physical therapy here. There's also osteopathy or medical docs. Some are medical docs. Yeah, it's similar to chiropractic and kind of in between muscle therapy, myotherapy, trigger point therapy. They work on the myofascia, it's called, along here, but instead of the trigger points, they're pushing the muscles.
Okay.
And you think myotherapy, what I do trigger point is a lot of pain. That's a lot of pain.
Oh yeah.
I find that they don't get as quick results. They have to keep going over and over because they're missing the point, which is the trigger point.
Interesting.
So there's lots of various things you can do. Lastly, there's surgery. I've actually worked in a back clinic, so I know a little bit about this. There's treatments that are called non-surgical spinal decompression for severe pain, surgery, and then for severe back pain, a lot of time pinched nerves, really has to do with the gel from the spine. The vertebrae have leaked out, and so it's pinching, so you got to get it back in. So then they do stretching, like on a table, to help try to open that up so the gel can slip back in. And for severe pain, when nothing works, that's the problem. It's called degenerative disc disease, another term. Okay. So that pain radiates from your spine all over your body, and right down your leg, can affect sciatica, it's called. So your blood's not flowing properly because of the pinch there, so that the blood doesn't flow. When the blood doesn't flow, you're going to feel the pain.
Absolutely.
So non-surgical spinal decompression usually provides other nutritional supplements and minerals and vitamins to help also bathe the disc and get it back in. And when it's nutrient dense, there's less issues with pain, but if you don't get it back in, you're going to be walking around with pain, unbelievable pain. So it works well. Surgeons are surgeons. They're going to want to operate, but boy, it's much better to get non-surgical. What I do with the myotherapy will help virtually most pain, where I've worked with individuals who had frozen shoulder, been to sports medicine clinics, chiropractor, everywhere. And I discovered it's in the books now, but it wasn't before. But it's just one little treatment, one little trigger point in the back between the shoulder blade and the spine. You press that 10 seconds, it's virtually gone.
Amazing.
And I've had people that had it for 3 years.
Amazing.
I've treated them over the phone, like somebody from Brooklyn. I treated with that.
Over the phone? How does it work over the phone?
I just tell them to press the trigger point.
Okay, so you just actually tell them the right points.
Yes,
to
and
press.
I've done that with the frozen shoulder. I've also done it with, some people say, well, it's frozen shoulder, but it's not. It's just the rotator cuff. And there's an impingement, lack of blood flow, and I just have them right on the phone. Okay, just press here, and they go from can't lift their arm to...
Wow.
Now, osteopaths will give you about 10 treatments to do that, and all it is trigger points. So a lot of the things like chiropractor, I understand, they don't know about this information, although it was discovered about 70 years ago, and by John F. Kennedy's doctor.
Oh, nice.
At that time, they did injections with lidocaine, which is helps reduce pain. Then they did it with a placebo, and what placebo means, they just injected like with saline or something like that, salt water. It did the same thing. So you don't need to. With the trigger points, you just need to press them, and it brings relief. So the ones that do all this other things they're doing, when it's simple, they can't make money. So there's nothing wrong with it, because that's their knowledge, that's all they have. But haven't been shown the whole total picture of what you need. I wouldn't. I've had individuals I've sent to osteopath because there's underlying issues that's not working, and that usually means, for instance, they'll have one leg shorter than the other. Then you need somebody to intervene. You want to get to the underlying cause. People with severe back pain who have degenerative disc disease, first of all, before they go to the expensive non-surgical decompression, I have them just hang. Just hang. And by hanging just with your toes touching the ground, it just can open up the vertebrae. So you got these two here open, and then this can pop in. It may take exercise to keep doing that, a number of treatments. And so if that works, you don't have to go for the expensive stuff.
Absolutely.
And very rare you have to go for the expensive stuff. Sciatica, you've heard of sciatica, which is awful for people. And that responds to what I'm doing. Usually. And if it doesn't respond, that means that there's the degenerative disc disease. So you get to the underlying cause. Now, sometimes when I do myotherapy or press the muscles to bring relief of spasm, they may need arnica with it, a few other things with it.
Yeah, arnica, those are the pain relief.
Yeah, that speeds the healing.
Yeah.
But I only do that for somebody severe and not responding. I'll explain what happens, of course, when you have pain. As I said before, you go like that. You don't feel the pain there.
No.
Brain and your spine. It's boom. It goes there, up there, back, and then you go, ooh, that hurts.
But the brain works so rapidly that you can feel it in almost instant.
Yeah, there are people that have no nerve pain at all. It's very dangerous because they can put their hand on a hot plate and it can burn because they don't feel pain.
Okay, so is that another condition?
It's a defect. Very few people have it, but
There's
it does run in families.
Okay, something you're born with?
Yes, usually.
Okay. Is there any treatment for that?
No, not if you're born with it.
That's,
so they have to be very careful.
Wow.
Yeah, because they don't want to go out in the snow and get frostbite, and they have to cut their fingers off and that sort of thing, so they have to be very careful. But they don't feel pain, which is a bonus. There are people that have migraines and other issues. We talked a little bit about pain with fibromyalgia before. A lot of pains come from leaky gut syndrome, food allergy, food sensitivities, food intolerance. And you have to fix up your diet to take care of the chronic pain. But on the other hand, that pain is one issue.
It's amazing, actually, how even pain related to diet.
Yes, and that's because it's with leaky gut syndrome. That means, as I mentioned before, food particles are slipping into, and your body has to digest it. Well, to digest it has to send cytokines and other immune cells like immunoglobulins and so on. It's too complicated, but they go, and then while they're trying to digest the food particles in your bloodstream, you get sideswiped with fatigue. Well, you can't have dairy now.
No, absolutely,
But you also had pain based on other things, your leg and so on.
Oh, well, I had so many pains, also, when we first met. I remember previous, injury. And the doctors, just kept giving me painkillers.
Well, painkillers is...
and here you are, In one day, actually, it fixed in one. It was one session. The pain.
Usually, I can do it one session. If I don't, that means maximum is 3. If I don't do it by 3, then there's something underlying problem. But also, when somebody's severe, then I add arnica, DMSO. That's from trees. It helps with speeding up the healing.
That's right. But what you also mentioned earlier, that the pain, also, also related to the leaky gut.
Yes,
that was amazing because
lack of digestion.
Because I remember when you first started with my treatment, I used to complain also a lot with my foot. There is this pain that I'm having with my foot tends to kind of overheat. It's like this sharp pain, coming in. All those gone, and is it all part of the trigger point, or is it related to the leaky gut?
Well, you had both issues.
Which of them do you think?
A lot of times it's both issues. Majority of time, if it's just ordinary pain and it's not, you had other symptoms which told me that you've got the food intolerance, food allergy that causes pain. And that's one of the major causes of migraine. Migraine is one of the most severe pains. There's a migraine called cluster headache. And cluster headache is when a person, they feel it's in their eye, and the pain is so severe. It's like somebody took a a screwdriver, put it in the heat of a fireplace,
Yeah.
and then just, okay, Ellie, just stand there while I just put this in your eye and just go boom, and then turn it.
Yeah.
It lasts for 15 seconds, very short, but the pain is so bad you want to put your head through the wall.
Yeah.
Many people have committed suicide for that.
Oh, no ways.
That's caused by food allergy,
Oh, wow.
which has been known for 100 years, but unfortunately, medicine is always looking for a quick fix. Duct tape, putting duct tape on, or tape on something that really needs to be treated on the underlying cause.
And that's the sad part, you know.
Yeah.
And, you know, not to actually, it's like, you know, the human are not really, you know, paying more attention into our own benefits.
Yeah.
It's all about what benefit ones, you know.
Yeah, yeah. Well, it's a medical bureaucracy. It's other bureaucracies, chiropractic and so on, so they don't get an overall view. Naturopaths, I've talked to naturopaths about things, and they start thinking they're the only way to do it. And I talked to a naturopath who teaches at naturopathic college, and he looked down his nose at homeopathy, and I go, why would you look down on your nose with something that works really well?
Yeah.
And it does. I've literally had slap shot from a puck playing hockey in my ankle. I'd be limping for a week, gone in an hour and a half from arnica.
Wow.
Just put the gel on or ointment, it's gone. So that's from a poison plant as well. And so, but it really, really works well. So it's better to look at all things. And if you have, once again, a lot of pain is caused by physical activity, sports, especially sports. Other people can have pain. They wake up in the morning and they're pain, but they don't realize they were laying on top of their arm here.
Yes.
And then when they wake up,
Yeah, the hand, yeah, it felt numb. I had that last night.
Yeah. So when that happens, that means you're probably cut off the blood flow. And then what you can do is just press some trigger points back here, up here, type of thing. You can do it your own. So what I try to do is teach people how to do it, to illustrate. My wife got tired of me after playing golf.
Yeah.
I would come home with a bad back. So she would give me a treatment. And it was happening so often that she taught my 10-year-old son how to do the trigger points in my back. So what he would do is he would do it, but I'm the worst. You didn't scream, but I'm worse than anybody. I scream like a little girl when my trigger points. So with his 10-year-old friend, they had their toy man. They'd hold it here, and he'd say, "Are you ready?" And he'd say, "Yeah." And he'd slide the toy man off, and he'd press me here, and I'd go, "Ah!" And they just roll over laughing. So, but I found the underlying cause. I was golfing, and that was causing it. And a fellow pointed out to me, "Dennis, you're not bending your knees." And at the same time, a professional golfer on the PGA Tour, Fred Couples, he was having back pain, and his old coach came to him watching. He said, "Let me see you hit the ball." And he said, "Right away, you're not bending your knees." So something as simple as that was causing the underlying cause. But also I've had where playing hockey, I'd smash and it hurt like the dickens and have to get a treatment.
Wow.
So with that treatment, that my wife would have to do my back. And what we found is when I got better equipment, better hockey pants, never felt a thing. So you always look for the underlying cause. I'd rather not have the pain in the first place by having better equipment. But some things you can't avoid. You know, if you are playing a sport where you hurt your groin or whatever, you got to get off of it, and you got to use treatments to fix it. Yeah.
That's actually the question that I wanted to ask you is in relate to sport. Okay.
Yeah.
So all this trigger point is related to chiropractics, you know, and the crunch bones, you know, all this physiotherapy, massage therapy.
Yeah.
Okay. So what are the differences?
Okay.
You know?
Chiropractors are crunching the bones.
Yeah,
that helps.
Those are the crunching bones.
But you got to come back every week, and every week, and every week. It's like it's almost time to do that. But they avoid the muscles where the actual pain is. So it's not doing you a service. Now they can help if you've been hit by a car or whatever, and your back is out. They can help with some treatments there. That will help. But a lot of the time, it's just the whole idea is for a chiropractor to have you coming back and back and back, pun intended. Actually, with my myotherapy, I fixed a chiropractor's back, and he said what I do works better.
Wow. They acknowledge the fact that, you know, what you do actually works better than it does.
Yes. Now, it has a place. It has a place. Osteopathy has a place, sports medicine has a place, but there's a lot of things they can't handle. And a lot of things, the reason they can't is they have a bureaucratic system, I call it bureaucracy. This is what they were taught, this is the way you do it. You don't get into new therapies. Myotherapy has been around for over 70 years. Shiatsu, I don't know how long that's been around, but Shiatsu is similar. They have certain techniques. Traditional Chinese medicine uses acupuncture, which really works well in some things, but I find that when they're doing, they also do trigger point, kind of do trigger point. They'll press a trigger point for 2 minutes. You don't need 10 minutes, you need 10 seconds.
Wow.
And then if you're doing around the neck and the head, you need half that, or about 7 seconds. So it works well, but a lot of things are interesting. When you do individuals that have, say, kidney pain, severe back pain, and think it's back pain. I had a gentleman, I gave him a treatment, it wasn't working. I said, okay, there's something else, you got to go to the doctor and find out what the heck's going on. It turns out he had kidney stones.
Oh, yeah.
So that can cause pain.
Okay.
And
how do you treat kidney stone, by the way?
Well, they want to do surgery because there's more money in surgery, and I say you demand ultrasound, which is available here. You just sit in a tub, and they just zap it through the water, and it explodes all the kidney stones just by ultrasound waves. It's just sounds, but they put it through the water, because if they do, you've heard of ultrasound, you can see the baby in a pregnant woman, or they can look at internal issues with your bowels and so on. That's so they can see it, but this is pulse. By pulsing, it starts to break up the kidney stones.
Okay.
And then you just pee it out.
Okay, so now...
But hospital clinics. Yeah. So it's available here, of course, probably in Africa and various places not going to have it. They would have it in the big cities, possibly. It's been around for 40 years, 30, 40 years. And they're still operating surgery. And that's fine for the surgeon to make money, but that's not what you want, because there's always can be complications from surgery and so on.
So what are the symptoms of these kidney stones?
Well, back pain. Severe.
Back pain. Severe
and nothing
back pain.
relieves it. Tylenol, pain pills, they're not going to relieve it. And so when I gave a treatment, it doesn't relieve it. I said, okay. I've had that a few times where I said to a person, you got something wrong? I had a fella that I gave him 3 treatments. I said, okay, there's something wrong. I sent him to an osteopath, and he went there. And as soon as the osteopath looked at him standing up, he found out the real reason he had hip pain and meniscus pain in his knee. I gave him some relief, and I also put him on DMSO, which you rub on it, which helps take care of some pain. Anyway, it was one leg was an inch shorter than the other. So he pulled the leg. I thought he was going to pull the leg right out. And he pulled so hard, but it fixed it. It was just kind of stuck, he had to pop it out.
Interesting.
Yeah, I've had treatments where a chiropractor, where I fell and hit the ice and I did jam something, and he said it's going to take 10 visits. I think it took 3 or 6, and he said, it's going to hurt, don't scream. I screamed. You could hear me 5 miles away, and the pain was brutal. And so something got jammed in my hip, and you just pull it out. Okay.
So, with this kidney stones, right?
Yeah.
Is there any age gap?
No, there can be any age, but generally, it's generally 30s and 40s type of thing. There's lots of treatments. People...
but it usually affected mostly men.
Mostly? Yeah, but it can affect women. And one of the things with it is that you have to start eating more a vegan diet, a lot of lemons that will help
to clean...
with the kidneys. But when it gets really bad, they always claim you have to have surgery. When you don't, you can get ultrasound. There's lots of treatments like that.
So, like the symptoms of having these kidney stones are the migraine.
No, just
like you
back,
say, the pain,
severe back pain.
Yeah, severe back pain. Interesting.
Yeah. And migraine is 90% of the time it's food allergy, and you just do the trigger points. And I've had people over the phone fix it. I just told them what to do. The trigger points are in the back of the neck, and you get the blood flowing. Remember, we talked about that. A little bit more about myotherapy is that you're in spasm, and so you're breaking the spasm.
That's right.
And if we weren't made by God the way we are, what would happen? We'd be walking around with robots. So there's connections. I think I talked a little bit about this before. There's synapses, there's areas where muscle goes to here, then there's a space and it continues on.
Yeah.
So what's happening in that is lack of nutrients are getting there. Cytokines, other inflammatory cells will go there and cause some issue. So when I give a treatment, I don't press, say if a person has an injury here, I don't press really where the injury is, I press above it. And so if somebody's got meniscus, they could have a tear. So you got to be careful, but there's trigger points back here. There's trigger points all over the body that can relieve. And I've helped some people totally relieve it, but if it's a tear, it won't. So they need to have something to help heal it.
Yeah, yeah.
Arnica, DMSO helps speed up the healing.
Oh, arnica and DMSO.
Yeah.
Okay.
Medicine doesn't have that in their armamentarium, so to speak.
Yeah.
They're restricted in a lot of things. It's like putting one arm around your back and trying to fix a car.
That's right.
You need two hands.
That's
and
right.
so they miss out. You still need medicine.
Yeah.
Especially if you have severe need where you do need surgery. But a lot of the times you can do things that you don't need to have the surgery. In fact, they did a study and they showed at a university, people were out, they were anesthetic and they were going to operate on their knee. So some they operated on the ear, the others they did nothing. The outcome is no different.
Wow.
Absolutely no different. Now, if you use arnica or trigger point therapy, that can fix the knee. I've done that with lots of people and they thought they'd be limping. And as I mentioned, I've also done stroke victims.
Oh yeah,
We've had physiotherapy to do it. And the physiotherapy is just a long process, but it doesn't do it quick. Just giving them a treatment all down their legs, the back, and so on. I've had individuals where they've been able to walk much better without as big a limp, just by getting the blood flowing, because that's all I'm really doing. Reducing the muscle pain, muscle spasm, getting the blood to flow.
So the spasm, it is what actually froze the muscles from having the movement, like a blood flow.
Yeah, it's in spasm. Yeah. I mean, if you any spasm, if you're walking, you can't all of a sudden you can't walk. Well, it's just a muscle spasm. If you're like, I've had that happen when I'm golfing one time, walking, all of a sudden I'm limping. I go, whoa, what happened? So I just lean down, press this trigger point, boom,
Done.
7 seconds. I got to tell you this. Had a fella. I was working on a kid's back at the coffee shop just over across the street, and I fixed his back. He was in a car accident, so he needed it. The owner was just on the phone to book an appointment with the doctor to get an X-ray because he figured he'd have to have back surgery because he couldn't even bend down and pick anything up from the floor. He was in such pain. So he said, "Can you do my back?" And I said, "Sure. Have a seat." It took him about 3 minutes to sit down because he was in such agony. That's why I thought he was going to need surgery. It's harder to do it in a chair for that type of thing, but I can do it. So I did his back. He stood up. Pain was gone. That's 8 years ago.
Wow.
Never needed another treatment. So why would you need to go for surgery for something that's that simple?
Absolutely.
Once again, it's a spasm. There's nodules here. There's various spaces. And the nutrients aren't getting there, and it's also the muscle spasm. So you got a couple things. I've had individuals where it had shoulder surgery, cuts off the blood flow, gave them the treatment with what I do with myotherapy. All of a sudden the blood flows, I said, should get warmer, 5 minutes. The blood just started flowing because it's pinched. So when you have a pinch, that's the same with migraine, you have a pinch, they give you pain pills. Most of them have coffee in it, caffeine, because caffeine opens up blood vessels.
Caffeine relieves the tension.
Yeah, it opens up, helps to open up because it's constricted. But also when you do the trigger points, you're opening up the constriction.
Nice one.
So I was just saying, like when you have a computer and you have muscle strain and you're like this, you just have to press the trigger points.
That's right.
5 seconds around here and down here.
Absolutely. I mean, I've been on laptop almost every day.
Yes. It's muscle strain.
Begin to feel the tension. And what you just did earlier, makes a difference. I actually think, we might have to demonstrate, so that they can see,
There's nothing to it.
What you did, and also how you fix my shoulders.
Sure, I can do that.
I'll
help.
That's right.
But the nice thing about myotherapy or trigger point, you can do it yourself. You can have your spouse, friend, when I called a woman in Brooklyn, she was having it, and I said, well, what, you have frozen shoulders? She said, yes. I said, a lot of shoulder pain. So her brother was visiting, so I said, just press the trigger point in the back between the spine and the shoulder blade. And she says, oh, it's 80% better. I said, well, then you have something else. So I had him do the trigger, press his elbow here. That helped relieve. And then I called, it wasn't totally, should be 100%. So I said, you've got something else. So she didn't only have frozen shoulder, she also had rotator cuff issues. Now, surgeons want to do surgery. Well, you don't need surgery. It's just mainly 3 trigger points. Boom, boom, boom. So right there, I had her do that on the phone. She did it herself, and it was gone. So she was 100% better.
Interesting.
Now, it rarely comes back unless you aggravate it.
Yes, exactly. That's what I want to
So I'm going to illustrate something about a sciatica person that I help.
Yeah.
Sciatica is awful pain in the butt and down the leg. And it's 3 main trigger points in your butt. Here's your butt cheek. So say that's the butt cheek. There's your back. It's 1, 2, 3. 3 trigger points.
Right.
Okay, if you have low back pain, it's not considered. I still do a treatment on either side of the spine. There's several trigger points on each side, 4 to 5 that you need to do. But also a lot of that is caused by here. So you do the trigger points here. So there's all these trigger points all over the body. If I've never seen somebody and they say they identify their pain as here, I said, okay, press there. It's gone. So like I said, they're all over the body. If you can't find them, you'll find them if you squeeze. If you put your thumb in the middle of your leg, you're going to feel pain. So these are simple to do. I had a couple, they're friends of mine. She had sciatica, really bad. So I gave her the treatment, and she was so bad because she had been in a car accident that I also gave her arnica to help. And it took longer, but with the arnica, 200 strength, it relieved her, so she was almost 100%. Then she was doing laundry. She picked up the laundry, picked it up, turned a certain way, and it all came back.
Oh no.
So I said, that's enough. I'm going to teach your husband how to do it. You don't have to have me calling. I don't care about the money. So I taught him how to do it. So whenever she aggravates it, he just does the treatment. And I sent some videos, and it's pretty easy. Anybody can do it.
Amazing.
It's not rocket science.
Amazing
Guess
stuff.
what? There was just a study, and the British Medical Journal commented on it. They did a comparison between brain surgeons and rocket scientists, because that's a term you use. It's not rocket science. It's not brain surgery. And they found between the two of them, they're both gifted in their knowledge, but they're better. Really, no different. They kept doing the study. No different than the average person. Because in somebody's field of expertise, they don't know it. They're not going to know it if they never studied it or looked at it. If you don't look at something or study it or research it, you're never going to improve.
No.
Now, I try to teach you basically some things you can do yourself.
Definitely.
You don't need me. If you have, we're here today, so I can do you a treatment. But a lot of times you're fine, and then if you feel some pain, you just start looking.
Yeah, well, it works at work. It works, even at work sometimes, I sit for some time. I could feel pain and, kind of, press. And, I'm not as expert as you, but definitely, with the help, that you've given me, it kind of work. Until I feel the severe pain, then I know that I have to come and see you.
I just had a woman that I treated. She was up visiting from Louisiana. She just sent me her treatment that I showed her to do herself. She lives kind of far away. And she's just sent me a picture of a baseball. I give her a baseball, because a baseball, all you do is reach trigger point back pain, just press along here. I got long arms. Not everybody does. And I said, just use a baseball. Just push where those trigger points are, either side of your spine, and that relieves the pain, so she doesn't have to go to a chiropractor or anywhere. She can just do it herself with a cheap baseball, lacrosse ball. If you got long arms, you could reach back and do it. There's lots of treatments and simple treatments.
Nice. Is there like an age, gap? Can children actually, get?
Well, they can get benefit. But they can also do the treatment. My 10-year-old son did the treatment.
They can also get the treatment.
Yeah, they can. I mean, some kids have to go to a chiropractor, but a chiropractor, for instance, they want you coming back constantly.
Yeah.
You don't need it.
Yeah, I like the one that you mentioned earlier, where they have to pull the legs. You know, when one leg was like, you know, slightly shorter.
Right.
Was it due to accident? Or
With him, I don't think
was
it
it
was. He
something
was
that was
born that
born?
way because he walked. You could see the way he was pronated.
Yeah.
In other words, he walked not like you or I, like this. He walked like this.
I see. Yeah.
Because that means that's shorter, so he had to pull it out.
Okay.
It didn't take long.
So it's actually the knee that is folding inside instead of, you know,
So
outwards.
he had knee issues and he had hip issues. Yeah, and I said after I did his hip and his knee, I said 3 times, I said there's something wrong. So I took him to an osteopath because he could find out what the underlying cause was. All he had to do was look at him because he's experienced in that. I'm not. So that fixed it.
Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah.
Because I know, you know, there was this, like, you know, a lot of, you know, kids that are actually born with so many of those issues.
Yeah.
That I know, you know, back in Africa.
Well, a lot for instance, a lot of tennis players have tennis elbow.
Tennis players?
Tennis, playing tennis can aggravate your elbow and you can't even hit the ball.
Yeah.
Because it hurts, the pain goes up here.
Yeah.
So I've actually had somebody went to physiotherapy for 3 months, and I said, that doesn't take that long, and I just pressed here, 7 seconds. You can go 10, but it's probably a good idea to go 10 seconds. Anyway, I pressed there, and she goes, it's gone. So it was, blood flow was restricted, and I just fixed that spasm, and that's all it was. A lot of things, like I said, restriction, you can't you can't lift your arm all the way up there. It's not at the shoulder, it's here, rotator cuff. So you just press the trigger points, and there's 3 or 4, there's a few more, and there's other things you can do. Simple, I've had a guy in a car driving, he said, I got shoulder pain, and I said, okay, keep your one hand on the wheel, and I said, if it was his right shoulder, whichever, I don't remember, I said, just press the trigger point here and here. And he said, oh, that relieved it. It helped. I mean, and then you got to press here if you can't. So there's lots of things you can do on your own.
And I think this is the kind of you know, knowledge that a lot of drivers, people that drives long distance should have.
Yeah, I have a baseball in my car for my back because if you're driving, sometimes I drive 3 to 4 hours, or I reach around to do this. I also sit on it because sometimes when you sit, there's trigger points in your butt, and that'll help relieve your back pain as well.
Wow.
Yeah. So for severe back pain, when I played hockey, it was right in the hip, above the hip there, would give you severe back pain, and there's the pain is like that in your hip, and you just go boom. There's 3 trigger points there, 3 here and 3 there. You press those. You don't necessarily have to do them all. And a lot of times with the back or the shoulder, if it's not that severe, I just do one spot. But like in your butt, there's 3. Those are the sciatica. And up here there are 3. So if somebody's really severe, I do all 3. The neck, I'll do down, it may be coming from the head, the neck, stiffness, and you want to increase the blood flow. So it's pretty sensitive here. People really feel it. But it gives relief. And stiffness. A lot of people just have stiffness.
Interesting. Like now, you know, I have a friend that that's like constant, in pain. I think the pain. I don't know if the pain is starting from the hips to the knee.
Yeah.
But he can't drive longer than like every 1 hour. He has to stop.
Yeah. Okay.
And then
Does he live in the area?
It's in Africa.
Oh, okay. So I can talk to him on the phone or whatever, WhatsApp, and he just has to, once again, bring his fist here under each side of his butt, or use a baseball, or something that will dig in, and it's like stimulating.
Yeah.
It's in that spasm, we're going to break that spasm by pressing it. And you can't pussyfoot around, you have to press it hard enough that you feel it. Now, if you don't feel it, you're not on the wrong spot. See, I don't feel anything.
Yes.
That's okay there. But if I press over here just a bit,
yeah, that's because it goes towards the bones now.
Yeah, but it's close to the bone there, but it's not necessarily all close to the bone because you got a lot of flesh.
No, actually, it's more muscle.
Yeah. yeah. But you got to find the point.
Yes.
Okay.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's pain.
So you'll
yeah.
feel the
So
pain.
that's the trigger point.
That's a trigger point. You'll feel it even if you're healthy and have no issues.
Yeah, I can feel it right there.
But when you do press it
Yeah.
and you have issues,
Yeah.
the blood will just start to flow.
Wow.
And the muscle spasm was ridiculous.
So in that case, this actually also works with the cold fingers, you know.
To a certain extent.
It kind of, you know, gives that...
blood will flow.
Yeah.
But also that's usually can be a lack of magnesium in the body.
You mean the colds?
Yes, feeling cold, whatever. Yeah.
No, lack
it
of
can be caused by
magnesium.
food intolerance, food allergy. Okay. The body's trying to wherever that issue is, that's one of the causes. One of the causes is the muscle pain, the muscle spasm rather. And by doing that, you increase the blood flow, but a lot of times it's lack of magnesium. In the Western diet, there's minimal magnesium. I assume in Africa, a lot better magnesium in the diet than we get here. Like if it's plants here have lost over 80% of their nutrition.
Yeah, that's
So we're eating, when you're eating a lot of food, it's unless it's organic, even then you can't trust the organic here in North America. The lack of nutrition has a lot to do. We're eating straw basically here.
You know, I think, you know, magnesium is becoming like a super
Yes, it's one.
you know, treatment that he did, you know, to get away with the pains that I was going through. So today we're going to do, you know, demonstrate to, you know, so that, you know, you could kind of, you know, to give an example of on how one can be able to do this on their own, you know, at home, in their own comfort zone. Yeah. So, I think, I think I'm ready.
Okay.
You know, it's quite painful, but I think I'm getting used to it now.
Yeah.
Okay, great.
I don't think.
Start? Do I stand or
No,
remain
you said
seated?
it, and I'm just going to talk about the various pains.
Okay.
So, as I say, no pain, no gain.
Yeah, that's right.
Okay. So when you have various types of pain, headache pain, even the neck pain, some of that comes from here, up here.
Yeah.
And so there's blood flow here and muscle pain a little bit. So they're very close.
Yeah.
They both work. Sometimes you only have to do one.
Yeah.
But this starts to really, that you feel it here?
Yeah, I do.
And then sometimes I just go up here. Feel it there?
Yes, I
Feel
do.
it there.
Oh,
okay.
yeah.
And then there's ones back here. Turn this way. There's 6 here on either side of the spine. And so generally speaking, above the head, you only need 7 seconds.
Okay, 7 seconds.
When you're doing the back, you only you go to 10. Okay. And so I'm always counting. You know, if you see my lips moving, that's what's happening.
Okay.
So today you don't have a headache or anything like that. But with migraines, that's one thing. And then there's other ones here.
Okay.
For instance, you feel it right there.
Oh, yes.
Open your mouth.
No, hard to open.
So for a migraine, you do 10 times.
Okay.
Or you press back here. That'll take care of it. I've had people, they couldn't get relief from the medication. In here, there's trigger points all over. What I'm doing to get the blood flow right down to about here. Feel that?
Yes, I do. Yeah.
Okay. So that's for somebody that has terrible shoulder migraines, headaches. That takes care of a lot of that. So you got to do that. Or if I'm doing certain people with a full treatment and they're really bad, their back and everything, and shoulders and stiffness and so on.
Yeah.
So then I do that. And then after I do that, then I'm having to go in a circle.
Circle, okay.
3 times that way, slow. You don't have to do it that fast. Now go back the other way. 3 times. Okay. So there's simple exercises. Okay, that does it. And what that does, it kind of stimulates the muscles and it's trying to reset. Okay, from what's happened. Because when you're in spasm, your body needs resetting. You break the spasm, but also for the blood flow, you need to kind of do a little exercise. So what I do here, the shoulder, a lot of times I only need to do 1. You feel it there?
Oh, yes. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Okay, but there's actually 3 there, and it's hard to get to them sometimes, depending on how big you are. If somebody's very skinny, it's going to be hard to get all 3. But then I'll do another one there. Feel that?
Yeah.
then another one there.
Oh, right.
So there's 3
Yeah,
in that spot.
yeah.
Then there's this one here. This is actually helps lower back pain too. So that gets the blood flowing. If a person can't lift their arm,
Yeah.
it's restricted. You do the shoulder there, but then you do also, there's the 3 or 4 trigger points here, main ones. So one here, you feel it there.
I do. Oh, yes, I do.
And then one here. I'm not doing it long.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And there's one in the middle. And
Yeah.
then sometimes,
I can feel.
yeah,
You know,
it'll go all the way down.
Yeah.
And then there's one here. Feel that pain?
Yeah.
And then there's one here. Some people go into emergency thinking they're having a heart attack.
Wow.
It's usually a lot of times it's just these 2 trigger points on this
Wow.
on this side because your heart's more to the left.
Wow. Actually, that felt something. Yeah, that felt something. You know, I used to have all this bad after eating, and sometimes it stays for days. Even if I don't eat heavy meal, I could still have that. You know.
You don't have it now?
No, what you just did now
Yeah.
is like something just open to
Yeah.
let it down.
Yeah, and that was real short. I mean, I didn't do it the long,
Maybe,
but you can
yeah.
do that yourself. You don't need me because I can inflict more pain than the average person.
Yeah. It feels a lot.
Okay.
Yeah, that relieves the tension.
I've actually had people driving their car, had them press the trigger points here, and it helped relieve
Is that-
shoulder.
Yeah. Has any connection with the gut?
Well,
Because I can also feel.
well, it's increasing blood flow.
Yeah.
Okay. But generally speaking, if somebody has issues with they feel like they're burning in the
Yeah.
esophagus,
Yeah.
well, that's usually because of bacterial infection. Unfortunately, physicians don't always check it out. It's usually H. pylori, which 80% have it, but something triggers it. And so they prescribe antacids, which, because it's burning in your stomach, right?
Yeah.
But that's the wrong thing to do. It's because you're actually short of acid. So when they put in the antacid, then the esophagus, there's a cardiac sphincter there, it's called, because it's near the heart. So where the food's coming down, it stays open. So then when you lay down, that acid flows up.
Starting to
So by giving antacids, that's the wrong thing to do.
Okay.
So you do, what I do is have somebody take a meal or
Yeah.
baking soda, then colloidal silver, black seed oil after, and what happens is the bacteria comes out from the mucus, hidden in the mucous membranes. So when you make it alkaline by taking pills, it actually increases the fact that these bugs will come out. So it's kind of weird.
It is.
But if you zap them with a natural product, oil of oregano is another one, you can reduce that. And laying back, if you drink coffee, some people, all it is coffee coming up. But if they really want to treat it, they go on to the therapy with, after a meal, taking the colloidal silver or the black seed oil. Okay, so some of the other things. So that's along here.
Yeah.
Then I usually do a trigger point here. You feel it there?
Oh, yeah, yeah. I do.
And then down
Of course,
here.
Definitely.
And carpal tunnel is here. Some people, because they're typing so long, and you just have to do that. Now, when I press here, you should feel all the way down to your fingertips. Sometimes you do. Feel it.
Oh yeah. Oh
Feel-
yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Yes.
Sorry about that. Okay,
Yeah.
so I'm going to have you stand.
Okay.
And I'm going to show. Those are the trigger
Do
points
you want me
here.
to get up?
Yeah, just lean over here.
Okay.
Oh, you know what?
This way, yeah.
Because of the camera,
Yeah.
it might be better if you lean against the
No,
table.
I think it's showing. We are.
Because I may be in the way.
No,
I'll try.
it's-
Okay.
okay.
Okay, but because I'm in the way, have you leaned? A lot of times this is all I have to do.
Oh, okay.
So there's the spine and the trigger point. Like for a frozen shoulder, it's actually right here. I can't get my elbow, so I can feel a spot there.
Yeah, I do.
You feel it there?
Yeah.
How about there?
Yeah, I do.
Okay, that takes care of frozen shoulder. Okay, and this is just, I have to put my, it's hard to get there. I'm
Yeah.
see if the camera is better here.
Yeah. Do you want me to go on there?
How about there?
Oh yeah.
Okay,
Definitely.
so I press
Yes.
there,
Yes.
there. They're about an inch apart. That usually takes care of upper back pain. So for low back pain, and it's persisting, that will relieve a lot of the time, but sometimes it's just right here. No, just push against me.
Yeah.
Feel that?
Yeah.
Does it hurt?
Yeah, I do.
Okay.
Yeah, I feel it.
So there's 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, That helps with a low back pain. Then there's an exercise. If it persists, you do a special exercise while you're laying down by turning the foot. Okay, now sciatica is here, lack of blood flow.
Yeah.
It's right in the butt. So there's 3 there. Trigger point here. Trigger point here, and a trigger point here. Now, there's lots more, but those are the main ones that just increase the blood flow and take care of pain.
Wow. Wow.
So, now I'll show you here. Have a seat.
Okay.
If you're driving a car and your back's bothering you, you put your arm back here,
Yeah.
and you press here,
Yeah.
or you put a ball, a hard object. And, yeah, just
Okay, like now I feel so stiff. I don't think I can reach the part. Am I at the right place?
Well, you don't have long arms like me. I could play.
Yeah.
I played basketball. I got long arms.
Yeah.
Okay, but some of the time, the back when it persists down here,
Yeah.
the actual trigger point is here. So I'll do. Some people just stay there.
Yeah.
I'll actually just move your arm there. This is going to hurt.
Ah. That hurts.
Okay, and then there's another one there.
That hurts.
Okay, and that goes that way.
Yeah.
So there, it's like a band of muscles going there. So I'll do that. A lot of time that'll help the back because the muscles come
Okay,
around.
so that helps the back.
That will help a back issue. So sometimes that doesn't relieve it. So sometimes I have to go to that. But then I teach you how to do it on your own.
Yeah.
Okay, and then this is for the knee. About 8 inches here. Feel that? I gotta find. Oh, I get it closer. Okay. How about? Let me know. You feel it, eh?
Yeah.
There. Okay. Then there's for meniscus or real knee issues. When that doesn't fix it, then I just go to here. Does that hurt there?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then there's the one here and here.
Wow.
So that's what I did to you before, and it helped, right?
Yes, because I remember with all that you did, helps tremendously.
Yeah,
It makes a huge difference.
Yeah.
I kind of it's like a reborn again.
Yeah. Well, it's just your blood was all constricted,
Yeah.
and your muscles were in spasm. So I took care of both.
And as opposed to this can help a lot, because the people that actually have no means to go see
Right.
the professionals where they can pay for that.
Right.
For them seeing this, they can actually,
They can do it themselves. And get a spouse to help,
That's right. Absolutely.
or a teenager, or one of the kids to help.
Yes.
And they're all over the body, so
Yeah.
it's not rocket science. It's
Yeah.
really not that hard.
And then let's say, for example, the pain didn't kind of subside.
Yeah.
For the a little.
Yeah.
How often can they do it? Like twice a day or few?
No. A lot of times I only do it once.
Once,
ever.
yeah.
I usually don't have to do it more than once. If I do, that means underlying cause.
Yeah.
And don't forget, you can add arnica. There's the gel, which I assume would be available in Africa. Because it's just a plant called the poison nut plant. You don't want to take it internally, but you can take it internally with homeopathy, because homeopathy is a small amount. If you take too much of it, it's poison. It's kind of fast, but you know what? They're all on YouTube. Anybody can get YouTube. You just type in myotherapy, trigger point therapy.
Yeah.
And you have others discuss how to do it. And of course, they want you to, a lot will just teach you how to do it for free. They're getting money from their advertising. But those are ones, like some that are really trained in it. It's big in Australia, so there's a lot of Australians doing it. It's not very big in the States. I'm probably one of a handful, if that, in Canada that do it. So probably why they don't do it here, because it's too successful.
Oh, I see. What about arthritis? Does it also help with arthritis?
Arthritis, yes. It can help relieve some of the muscle spasm, but arthritis, the underlying cause, in the medical literature, about 50 years old, it's leaky gut, so it's food allergy and infections. So it can be a viral infection. So you take something for a viral infection, could be a bacterial infection, and it's easy to pick up infections. So you have to treat it with colloidal silver, black seed oil. Black seed oil should be available.
So
in
actually,
Africa.
black seed and and colloidal silver,
Yeah.
they seem to be like a super,
Absolutely.
healing.
Yes, they work on bacteria, fungus, virus, most of the infections, and ivermectin, which is freely available in Africa,
yeah.
which also takes care of COVID. They all help with COVID.
Interesting. Yeah.
In fact, post-vaccine, they also help
Yeah.
after taking a vaccine.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. And what about, like you said, all this arthritis, it's caused by leaky guts and
Rheumatoid. Osteo is damage, physical damage. Like if you blow out your knee,
Yeah.
you damage it playing sports, that's a different issue. So you have to take nutrition to build it up, and you still need various nutritional supplements that will
That's
help.
right. Yeah. Because talking about this, trigger points and stuff,
Right.
I'm seeing it as something that also can help one, with their memory loss. Because of course, when most people with dementia, it's also to do with the blood flow, I believe,
Yes,
right?
yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So can this also, help kind of, send that blood rush,
Yes, yes.
in order for them to clear? How
Yeah.
will that help?
Okay, so say you eat something you're allergic to.
Yes.
Your brain, you're like this.
Yeah.
And you don't have a migraine, but you're not thinking clearly.
Yeah.
It's the lack of blood flow. So you start pressing here, and here. You can also press along here because when you start doing that with the computer, you press these along here. You can
That's
find
right.
them
That's
under the eye. You got to be careful. It's sent along where the bone is.
Yeah.
There's all these trigger points, and then
All of
the
that.
blood flow increases.
Yeah.
Other things like curcumin or turmeric.
Turmeric. Okay.
Yeah. There's other things. Magnesium helps. So nutrition is important. Like I said, take it before moringa because it's got 92 various nutrients, including amino acids and minerals and so on. And it's one of the best. That gives you energy and so on.
Okay, so that's moringa now.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Yeah. Another issue is for a lot of people is lack of vitamin C. And if you get it from plants, that's even better. Camo plant from the Amazon jungle. I would assume in Africa there's other plants there that will help with the vitamin C.
Yeah, I think that will be one of the challenge, that with all this nutrients and all this mineral stuff. There's all those natural herbs, but because it's not being studied properly, so people don't really pay that much attention to.
Well,
It's there.
They don't.
And most of them they don't know.
Yeah, it's there. Just like homeopathy, there's lots of studies. Doctors will say there's no information on it. There's tons in German. It comes from Germany, homeopathy. Tons in the UK. You got to know where to look. I've used arnica pre and post surgery to help speed up the healing, and physicians are quite surprised how cosmetic surgery, cutting here, and then taking arnica internally or other homeopathics, it speeds the healing, and they're quite shocked at how fast somebody recovers and doesn't have the marks that they would normally have. Before or after dental surgery, there's nothing better than homeopathy as far as speeding up the healing, and also takes care of pain. And so there's lots of issues, lots of different things, and there's good nutritional information on some of the ones on the internet that talk about nutrition that are really trained in it.
Yeah.
There's some real good discussions on it.
Yeah.
So that will help somebody, especially like muscle pain and that. They'll get into a little bit about nutrition, but if you look for a homeopathic one, they'll talk about arnica and other things, but you can look it up as well in nutrition journals. Just type in nutrition on YouTube, and you'll find out quite a bit.
And then okay, let's say for one that has no pain, okay, can this be used like as a way of relaxing the muscles?
Yes, but if they don't have anything, I mean, for instance, if you have stress, that will aggravate a lot of situations.
Yes.
If you have stress in your life.
Yes.
But also to reduce that, you can press these. That might help, but it's more to do with stiffness. Some people just have stiffness. You just release the blood flow.
Yes.
But things like rhodiola, a fantastic plant, comes originally from Siberia. That helps general anxiety, depression, energy.
Okay, and that's rhodiola.
Yeah, you get teas.
Is it to use the pill form? Or?
Well, you can have tea, capsules.
Oh, it comes with tea as well?
Yes. Yeah.
So
yeah,
there's a rhodiola tea?
Yeah, well, just like there's ginger tea, other teas with many other herbs.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So,
Okay.
they'll have various things how they work.
Yeah.
Some may need a higher dose, but others, you just get a tea.
Yeah.
Make a tea out of it.
Yeah. Like I said, remember you put me on rhodiola.
Yeah.
But then for some reason, it tend to put me to sleep. I go to work, but...
Well, yeah, but that was the dairy.
Yeah. Is it maybe I'm just going to...
Well, some people
probably going through a lot. There's probably so much going on with me that...
But rhodiola can do the opposite, but it actually is good for sleeping. Even though you take it in the morning, if you take it after lunch, you're going to be wired. You're not going to be able to. You're going to be too wide awake. So when you do have to require a second dose, you go to the just before lunch. You do it on an empty stomach, but it also helps you sleep.
Okay, that's one taking on empty.
Yeah, but it doesn't help you sleep right away. It's in the evening.
Yeah.
So usually, I think if you were having a problem with sleep issues or tired, that was dairy.
Yeah.
Because you'd talk to me falling asleep.
Yes, that's right. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, but I also noticed that most of this nutrients, which is the supplement, those natural herbs, you usually it's like you tend to take them on an empty stomach, right?
Yes, lots of them are best on an empty stomach, but there are some doesn't matter.
Okay? It doesn't matter. Yeah.
And one thing I believe in is whatever works. Some people can't tolerate certain things.
Yeah.
For instance, if you have infections or whatever, ivermectin, you definitely have to take it with food to reduce the feeling of discomfort. Colloidal silver, black seed oil, it doesn't. But everybody's individual. Some people can tolerate it. Some have a cast iron stomach, and some others are so super sensitive.
Yeah.
So. Now that we fixed you up and what showed you where all the
it feels great.
I mean, I didn't give you a long treatment.
But I can still. Yeah. I'm still. I can still feel the. The healing works.
Right. And then you had those trigger points there. Remember, sometimes I'll do the trigger point under the rib.
Under the rib as well.
Under the rib.
Yeah.
Okay. Let me show you here. This is for. I forget what I do it. Feel the trigger point there?
Yes. Oh, wow. There's some heavy treatments out there.
Yeah, there's lots. So I use that for specific things when nothing else is working, and that may help all the way around here. Sometimes with back pain, nothing's working. There's a trigger point on the rib here, and it hurts like the dickens. But generally speaking, everything else works. I only do that if I have to. I don't rarely have to do that.
That's interesting. Right, that's interesting. So now, for someone who's extremely old, how do you...
Like me?
Well, you're not old. We're talking...
Well, mid-70s, you're getting up there.
70s, and you are still,
I'm playing hockey tonight.
You're amazing.
Okay.
I actually would love to, come and...
sometime you have to.
To see you in action, because definitely, I would love to show them. Yeah. Because you're amazing.
Well, that's because of knowing nutrition.
Yeah.
And knowing all these relatively easy things to know. It's not rocket science. Yeah. As you can see, pressing trigger points isn't rocket science.
Absolutely, yeah. So what are all the supplements that you're on that, someone of your age, you will recommend everyone of you, to go on? I in the morning, your routine in the morning, what's the first thing that you do?
First thing I do is take serapeptase.
That's the first thing, serapeptase?
And acetylcysteine.
Yeah.
Camu, the best vitamin C.
Do you take them all at the same time?
Yeah. Because they're on an empty stomach, but I'm only taking 4 capsules on an empty stomach.
So, the first thing is the serapeptase, you said.
Yeah.
You take the serapeptase, and then Camu.
Yeah, and rhodiola, and NAC, and acetylcysteine. Yeah.
And NAC, those are the 4 supplements.
Yeah.
Okay.
Morning and evening before.
Okay, so you take those morning and evening. Okay, that's the first thing in the morning, and then the last thing also.
Well, just in between after lunch, I'll take Moringa.
Okay, so before lunch, you go for moringa. Does it also have to be on empty stomach?
No, no. So I'll take it with food, the magnesium, the vitamin D, zinc, quercetin, that helps your immune system. So there's lots of things you can do. And then PQQ with coenzyme Q10.
Oh yeah, PQQ, yeah, that's
that
right.
might not be available in a lot of places, you know. But so coenzyme Q10 protects your heart. As you get older, you're missing it. So you need to top it up, and coenzyme Q10 tops it up. But if you add the PQQ from natural sugar from vegetables, really builds up and protects your heart. The camu protects your heart. Serapeptase helps your heart. So there's lots of things. Vitamin D helps your heart because as you get older, your heart isn't as functioning as you were. When you play hockey, you got to do it.
Oh yeah,
because you're pumping.
You're pumping a lot of
sports
energy.
Exercise is nothing better than getting your heart pumping. So So anyway, and then I'll take them the moringa at the bedtime, as well as another dose of magnesium. Okay, and I'll take another course for quercetin. I forgot about vitamin E. I take vitamin E a couple times.
You take vitamin E.
But don't forget, our food here is depleted.
Yeah.
Wheat is devoid of, if you're eating wheat, if you don't have an allergy to it, it's devoid of a lot of the vitamin E. So there's lots of things you can take. So I imagine Africa has different things that they can take. There'd be herb stores with products in the herbs.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Okay, and then when it comes to diet, right?
Yeah.
What do you usually take for have for breakfast? And lunch?
Well, this time of year, oatmeal.
Do lunch and
I don't do breakfast.
You don't do breakfast.
If you can go 12 to 16 hours without eating, that's the best.
So you're recommending the intermittent fasting?
Intermittent fasting.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, let's talk more about it because that is one of the parts.
Yeah.
I would love to start the intermittent fasting.
Yeah, yeah.
But I don't know if I'm doing it right.
Yeah.
Some days I skip breakfast.
You can't. Some days you're extra hungry. So but also
when you're feeling that extra hungry, but you want to.
Yeah,
push.
you just want to satisfy it a little bit.
Yeah. Sometimes it's not a hunger, it's craving.
Yeah, yes, it is. Cravings are, an issue.
Yeah. So how do you...
Well, with cravings, you just, it's hard, but you have to suck it up and no dairy,
So
as you know.
The mind,
You try to find replacements. You can have coconut milk, use that as a replacement. So I haven't put dairy in oatmeal or anything like that for decades because I can't have dairy.
So you're saying the oatmeal...
I just put water in it.
Okay.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
So you can have oat.
Oatmeal, yeah.
Oat is good. Okay. Not with milk.
I'm okay with wheat. I just can't have dairy.
Okay.
But if somebody has issue with wheat, I take them off it. I've had women lose 65 pounds off the wheat here because the wheat here isn't like the biblical wheat as we talked about before. Yeah.
And what about goat milk?
No, it's no better. If you're in Africa, you can take right from the animal. It might be a different story. But once they pasteurize dairy here, cow milk and goat milk, it's not the same.
Even if it's...
If it's right from the cow and the goat, you might be able to handle it. But a lot of people can't here because once they boil the milk, the way the process they do it, they bring it up way too high, and it kills all the enzymes.
Yeah.
So it's like a different commodity.
Yeah, I see. But if you live in the farm where you get it directly from the goat or the cows, that is What about colostrum?
Colostrum is good for you, but you can get it. But if you're allergic to dairy, you can't. You can't even take the capsules of it or the powder.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. But it's very good at healing for a lot of people.
It does healing.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, for some that can take colostrum and then feel the effect of healing through colostrum, but then when they go for the actual dairy, it has that, the triggers, all this.
Yes. Some people that are allergic can handle it.
Okay.
Some people that are allergic to dairy and cheese here go to the Caribbean, warmer climate, not the pollution we have here. They can tolerate dairy.
They can tolerate. So it's also to do with,
Well, the way they process it down there is different than here. Yeah. We're really industrialized. Industrialized brings a whole set of other conditions. And causes health issues.
Yeah, so that's one of the big issues now to deal with.
We're walking chemical factories.
Yeah, crazy. Yeah. So now, if one wants to know also, most of the the food that they're allergic to, how will they test?
Well,
Do
the
they
best
have
way
to-
is go off it for 4 days.
Go off it for 4 days.
And then eat it on the 5th day and see how you react. And if you react a bit, you know you have an issue.
So
But
let's
if you
say-
still don't have an
yeah.
issue on the 5th day,
Yeah.
you feel some symptoms,
Yeah.
and you eat it 2 days in a row, then see how you feel.
Oh,
It can just hit you like a
back.
ton of bricks. Yeah.
Okay, so for somebody who is like really sick in bed,
Yeah.
so the first thing to do is to put them on intermittent fasting for like a few days.
If somebody's really sick, they don't feel like eating,
Yeah.
you just give them broth or something like that. You know, nothing too strong for them to digest, because that's part of the healing process, is not feeling like eating. Your body's trying to heal itself. Yeah.
Yeah. So once the body shut from accepting food,
Yeah.
you just have to let it
Yeah,
be.
just give it time.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
maybe drink some teas, herbal teas or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because they're probably not hungry.
Yeah.
They're just not feeling well enough.
They're not
to
feeling
eat.
well.
Their stomach may turn every time they
Yeah.
look at
What if they're not hungry, but yet they keep losing weight?
Well, they'll be okay. They'll recover.
They'll recover.
Yeah. Yeah.
How long can one go without food, sick in bed, before they can finally give up?
There's people go on 30-day fasts. You know, in the Bible, it talks about the 40-day fast that Jesus did, and others have done fasting for a long time. One of the best treatments for various health issues is going on a fast, 10-day, 30-day, just drinking water.
Okay, but they have to drink water.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. So for somebody who is like extremely sick in bed, cannot handle even water, what do you do in that case?
Well, you have to get it in them somehow.
Somehow you have to find a way to get it.
The dehydration will make it way worse.
Okay. Do you have to mix?
Coconut water is good because
Coconut
it's
water.
almost like an intravenous of called saline here.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
You have in coconut water, you have all the things that you need, like equivalent to intravenous. You have sodium, potassium, chloride. What's the other one? My brain is missing it. So those electrolytes are very important. But electrolytes are in coconut water, unsweetened. You don't want to get sweetened. And so similar to what a hospital will give you if you're really dehydrated.
Yeah. Okay, and then
You automatically look for an infection. One of the things I like, besides the black seed oil, which is something they have available, it's very good in taking care of all 3-4 different types of infections. The main ones, Candida, which is fungal, bacteria, viruses. You can take that, and you can get that in probably herbal stores, or it's available in Africa. So that's important. One of the other things I really like for a lot of people is put people on diatomaceous earth.
Yeah.
And so a lot of times, which should be available in Africa, it might be a little, it's just dirt, but it's very inexpensive, but it has a lot of properties. It's got a lot of minerals, silica in there, but it just goes through here, and if you have worms, bacteria, it just shreds them and you poop it out.
Yeah. So this is probably one of the best way to clean the organs.
Yes.
Okay. Like livers and kidneys and
I'm just
gallbladders.
Well, it doesn't. Only the silica goes in, but the silica reduces cancer. It's really important for your body. It's critically important. I'm just treating a woman from Ethiopia who had 5 operations. They wanted to do another 6th operation. She said no more. And when they did an ultrasound, they found something in her small intestine. They didn't know what it was. It's obviously a tapeworm.
Tapeworm.
So I put her on diatomaceous earth, colloidal silver, black seed oil, and in 10 days she's almost recovered. She's going to have to be on it for a while because those are hard to get rid of. But the diatomaceous earth, taking the diatomaceous earth, then zapping it with the colloidal silver and black seed oil, will penetrate and be able to destroy it. But it's going to take time because it's so big. Usually speaking, if it's parasites, which you pick up everywhere, and that will take care of it. Pumpkin seeds help.
Yeah, pumpkin seeds.
With most parasites, you just chew. You can put them in an oven, cook them, toast them, or just cook them raw, eat them raw, and they help take care of parasites. So very inexpensive things you can do, and avoid medicine and surgery when you don't need surgery because it's just an infection.
Yeah. So, amazing stuff.
Yeah.
Amazing. And like now, I mean, how medicine and health, kind of, now busy shifting, moving into more towards the natural way
Yes.
of healing.
Yes.
And I want this information to be as out as, to, get to in the right place as possible.
Yep.
Which is why, there's like going to be so many different questions that's going to be coming. And
Yep. We can discuss them
keen
answer,
on, wanting
answer
to
the questions.
kind of
Yeah.
dive in.
Yep.
But
Okay.
we discussed quite a bit now. I'm
Okay.
really impressed, with the knowledge, the wealth of knowledge that's coming from
I'm an old guy too, so
Mr. Dennis,
I've been around a long time.
Mr. Dennis, you're a blessing. You're absolute amazing,
Okay.
and you've been such
Yeah.
kind and wisdom, and just cannot tell you
I help people. So.
how much you mean to us.
Okay.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right.
Well, thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Right.
Okay.
That was